Okay, so today we're going to look at solving equations, and the main thing that we need to remember when we are solving equations is that whatever we do to one side of the equation, we must also do to the other side. So if I just take these examples here, I've got 2b equals 10. If I was to add 5 to both sides, that statement would still be true because I've done the same thing to both sides. Okay, I would then get 2b plus 5 equals 15. Okay, this is still true because I've done the same thing to both sides. Okay, if I times both sides by a number, if I times both sides by 5, 2b times 5 would be 10b, and 10 times 5 is 50. This is still true because we did the same thing to both sides. And that is the main thing that we need to remember, okay? Now, I just did some random things here. This didn't actually solve either of those equations. To solve these equations, we would just want b on its own. B equals a value, okay? So we need to think about what we can do so that we do just get the letter on its own. So if we have a plus 7 equals 22, I want to get rid of this plus 7, so I just have a. So we do the opposite. We're going to take away 7. That will just leave a on the left-hand side, and that's what I want. Now, remembering the rule we talked about at the top, that means we need to also do the same to the other side. So I need to take away 7 from the right-hand side, from 22. So on the left-hand side, I'm just left with a. On the right-hand side, 22 take away 7 is 15. That has solved the equation. I've worked out the value of a. Okay, let's have a look on question 2, or example 2. We have 15 equals b minus 4. So again, I just want b on its own. So I need to add on 4 to this side, which will give me just b. If I do that to the right-hand side, I also need to do that to the left-hand side. So I'm going to add on 4 to 15. Now 15 add 4 is 19. And on the right-hand side, I just get b. Again, I've solved that equation. Now a couple of other examples when we're multiplying. Okay, so question 3, 4c equals 32. Now I just want c on its own. Okay, so I need 1c. At the moment I have 4c. So I'm going to divide by 4. And if I divide the left-hand side by 4, I must divide the right-hand side by 4. Okay, so 4c divided by 4 gives me c. That's what I want to get. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, so if you have a number in front of our letter, remember that means multiply. So 4 multiplied by c. So if we then need to do the opposite, and the opposite to multiplying is dividing. Okay, now question 4 says d divided by 3 equals 6. Now we might see it written like that. You could also see it written like that, where they use a fraction. That still means divide. This means d divided by 3. Okay, so these two equations mean exactly the same. Now if d is being divided by 3, we want d on its own, so we need to multiply by 3. Again, we do the opposite. The opposite to dividing is multiplying. So we're going to times the left-hand side by 3 to get d on its own. That means we must times the right-hand side by 3. Okay, so on the left we just get d, which is what we want to get. On the right-hand side, 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, hopefully that helps you solve some one-step equations.